everyone, you are listening to the Manifesting Straight Talk podcast, and I'm your host, Rachel Chamley. I'm a mindset and manifesting coach from the UK, and I am here to ignite that fire inside of you. If you are a female entrepreneur or change maker, or just a woman that is wanting more from life, then you are in exactly the right place. I am going to give you my no-nonsense, straight-talking advice to manifesting and show you how to take your life to that next level. So if you're ready, dive in now. Hi everyone, welcome to this week's podcast. Today I am going to talk to you about the power of course. That is what we're going to be diving into this week. So many of us think about our desires and we think they can't be for us. They're not meant to be. Where the hell has that come from? And we have these big, big dreams and we push them off so much. And we waste so much time. Like they could be ours so much sooner than we believe that they could, because half the time we're denying them and saying they're not for us. Well, I just want to break this down. So your desires come from the divine matrix. So you think of the universe of possibilities, that realm of limitlessness, that realm of anything can happen. It has a unique divine matrix running through it that has certain points on it where people need to get to certain things to create this universal synchronicity, universal flow, universal magic. And you are part of that. So before you even came to this place, you will have had certain things mapped out in this whole divine matrix that will have been put on your timeline to say, this is for you. This is for you to create in this life. This is for you to have in this life. This is for you to experience in this life. And these things drop into your mind as a desire. Now, our mind is broken up into three parts. There's like three connected parts in the mind and how it works. So if you think your daily mind and how it works and what you've been trained to think, what you've been conditioned to think, that's our ego state. That is the point that sees you as that individual person, that Rachel Chamley, that whoever it is, that person who has your experiences, your upbringing, your beliefs, your thoughts, all of that is combined in this persona, this energy, this ego state. And often we live from that place, and sometimes that can be really debilitating because it bases everything you can do on everything you've already done or a little bit extra. So it's literally looking at the things you've achieved and then going, well, I could do a little bit more. Whereas actually that's not the truth. So that little bit more is it's like a drop in the ocean of what you could achieve. It's like a minuscule drop of what you are capable of, because this ego state doesn't know the connection between you and this limitless possibility. So this ego mind isn't really connected to anything other than the higher mind when it lets it in. So your higher mind, your intuition, your soul, whatever you want to call it. So you think of this middle state. This is your higher mind, your soul, this unbelievably potent version of you, this version of you that knows your potential, the version of you that spurs you on in them times where you're like, can I do this? And it's like, hell yes. That version of you is there all the time, underlying in the surface, trying to get in, trying to communicate with you constantly, trying to get to speak to you. But your ego mind is like, no, we can't listen to that. It's talking rubbish. So I'm going to fill you with loads of fear. So what happens is your intuition, your soul, it whispers to you constantly. It drops in these desires. It drops in this ability to know where you should be going. And this is your guidance. And you might feel this as your inner guidance. And when you listen to it, you feel like you are in complete flow. You feel like, yes, everything is possible. I can do anything. And this is amazing. But then all of a sudden, you start to let your persona, your ego mind take over again. And this is where we have this battle. Your higher mind is a lot quieter. Your higher mind knows your potential, knows how amazing you are, knows all the things that you are here to do. And that's why it drops these desires into us, because that is where you're meant to be going. This is your soul's guidance system. So it drops these desires into us because that is where we're meant to be. We are meant to be in that place where you have that desire. It might not even be because the desire is what you're meant to get, but maybe the things you are meant to learn on the way to getting that desire is exactly what you are meant to get. Hope that makes sense. You often find that you follow the dream until you find home. And that's what your soul's trying to do. Your soul's trying to give you things that get you to where you need to be. So it might be that you crave to earn all this money. And because by earning all that money, you are going to get more self-worth. You are going to understand that you can do things, you can create things, you are creative, you are an absolute amazing entrepreneur. You might need to find out that you are actually worth earning that money. That might be your task, your mission at this part in your journey. So what we tend to do is we tend to let this persona tell us that it's not for us. But the persona is living in fear. The persona is living in gut-wrenching fear of, well, that can't be for us. And if it is, then you are living in your higher mind. You aren't living in your state of your ego. So it's like you don't need me anymore. You are leaving me behind. And it doesn't like that. So what happens is we end up living in the fear. But actually, the desire is where we're meant to be. The desire is the alignment. The desire is the flow. The desire is the link to the limitless possibilities, which is the next step in the dance. So when you think of this third mind, this is the connection to the universal mind. So that universal mind is this power of synchronicity, power of limitless possibility, power of pulling absolutely anything together that we could ever possibly imagine. And yet we think that is so far-fetched. We think that's miracles, but it's not. It's all there. It's all in the ether. So what the higher mind, your soul mind does, can connect to this limitless possibility. It can say, this is where she's going now. This is what she's wanting to do. Let's create this. Let's make this happen. Let's align the steps in the dance. And between the two, it pulls together your potential plus the limitless possibility and creates magic. What we have to start doing, and this is where the power of course comes in, we have to start shutting off our persona, shutting off our ego mind and starting to live from that higher minded place, starting to let her run the show, starting to let the version of you that already has them things, because it's already created, it's already out there, let her guide the way. And how we do this is the power of course. If you adopt this mantra of just of course, it will create huge shifts in your life, like unbelievable shifts. And this is how it works. So when you are doubting that these desires are for you, when you are doubting that you have put these out into the universe, you just start to talk to your ego mind. You just start to say, of course, this is for me. Of course, this was planned out before I came. Of course, this is already created. Of course, I can make this happen. Of course, the how is going to turn up. Of course, everything is going to come together. Can you see how you do not even need to know the answers? You just say, well, of course it's going to happen. It was written in the stars. Of course, that's for me. Remember, if you can imagine it, you have already created it. Like, that's the thing. Your thoughts are that powerful that once you imagine it, it's already created. Like, it's already out there. You can feel it, you can sense it, because you have that gut-wrenching niggle in your stomach. You have that thing that keeps bringing you back to that desire. If it wasn't for you, you wouldn't think of it again. It wouldn't have cropped up more than once. Like, literally, you're thinking of this thing a lot. And if you tell me you're not, then you're lying. But you're thinking of this thing a lot. So it's for you. It's there. It's on the other side of the veil. Like, oh my God, are you going to hurry up and live this life? It's already there for you. So what you've got to adopt is this power of course. Of course, that's for me. Of course, it's there. Of course, I'm going to grasp that sooner rather than later. Just of course. Of course, I deserve it. Of course, it's mine. Of course, it's created. Of course, it is all going to map out and align. That is it. That is your job. And can you see, adopting this power of course, you are just instantly shutting down your ego. What we do when we shut down our ego and we open up to this power of course, is we say it is happening, it is now, it is already done. And that power brings it into that power of your presence, like your power of I am, like I am present. So of course, this is mine. Of course, I am claiming it. Of course, of course, of course. Like it is so easy, and it takes away your level of doubt. So when you say, of course, it makes it certain, it makes it true, it makes it yours now. But it also stops your mind playing tricks on you where you are doubting that it is for you. So when you just say, of course, it's like, of course it is, but I don't need to know the how. I don't need to know all that stuff. Of course, I am just trusting this limitless possibility. Of course, I'm trusting my soul guidance. Of course, I am. And it really just frees you up to this higher energy, this higher vibration. And that's what it's all about. But what we've got to do is get out of our ego, get out of our persona, and start living in that soul-led guidance system, that higher mind, that intuition. Let them run the show. And to do that, we need to shut down the ego. We need to play with it. We need to let it be heard, because it's still a part of you. It's still a really good part of you. So let it be heard, but be like, come on, of course it's going to happen. You imagine you talking to a kid who's trying to do better at a subject at school. You don't tell them they're never, ever going to do it. You're like, of course you'll get this. Of course you'll be able to do this. Of course, why wouldn't you? So it's like you are appeasing your ego. You are nurturing it. You are making it feel better, feel secure, feel heard, whilst also opening the door to more limitless possibilities. So this power of course, is so, so good. And I want you all to adopt this. I want it to be your normal daily mantra. Like anytime you get some doubts, of course it'll happen. And you can say it really nicely. So you are nurturing yourself and you're feeling that good vibe, and you are feeling like that part of you that feels scared is still getting heard, but you're still like, I understand that, but of course you're going to be okay. Of course this is going to happen for us. Of course this is in our stars. This is already written. So please start to adopt this mantra. I want you to come and tell me about it in the Manifesting Straight Talk Facebook group. If you are not already a member in there, make sure you go there. That's the community for this podcast, and I would love, love, love to hear about how this power of course is starting to change things for you. So please come in there, join me, let me know what's been happening, and I will catch you next week. I'm Rachel Chamley, and you've been listening to the Manifesting Straight Talk podcast. If you're not already following me on social media, make sure you come and find me on Instagram. I'm at Rachel Chamley, or come and join the Manifesting Straight Talk Facebook group. All my details are in the show notes, so you can catch me there. But I hope you've been left feeling inspired after this podcast. It was so much fun. Join me next time for another episode of Manifesting Straight Talk.